Alright, so a bit of a tools update, and I got a 288 on the bench. But first, we're going to do a little cleanup. Doesn't go there, that goes there. Okay, so while we're in the mood for 288s, my buddy Danny brings me his 288. Says it's a little wonky, you know. So let me send him the link, and we'll get on with the tools update and the 288. Gotta send him the link so he can watch, you know. Hey, Mike. Why use anti-seize on bearing install? Why not? Why can't I send a link? Why use anti-seize on bearing install? Why not? I think it makes it go smoother, you know. There we go. Share. Good. Bring this up. I'm working here now. Okay, now I can see comments and whatnot. Down. Okay. Yeah. So I actually had the question before, Mike, and it was. Well, remember, I'm pressing bearings in instead of doing heat, and there's all kinds of stuff on like installation, lubrication, and whatnot for bearings. I find that anti-seize just makes them go in just right nice. And because the question came up, why in the world would you do that? Because you're going to spin bearings, but in order to spin a bearing, something way worse has to happen than having anti-seize on there. That's just me. Wow, this root beer is nice. Moneybags root beer. Okay. Anyway, so tools update. Very simple. Talk to the machinist. Apparently, so I have two machinists that are working on this. The one that's actually doing the CNC work, he had, well, we'll call it a personal issue. So he was supposed to get on the rods last week. He did a little bit of them, but he will finalize them this week, and we should have rods going forward. And I'm also going forward having them do the aluminum sleeves as well. So that hopefully will get worked on sometime this week. I know I've got a few pre-orders. Thank you to Mike for a pre-order today on a 372 kit. And what else? So yeah, so a little bit of a delay in the tools. I just so you know, I paid for the tools to be made 2 months ago. So this is paid for. The blanks were made. They were ready to rock. I've done my deal. I'm literally just waiting on the machinist. And I've tried to stay on top of this, but it just hasn't happened. So, okay. Moving on from that. It's the best I got. It will happen. It is happening. All that stuff. Questions, comments, anything, type in the live chat. Yeah. If you guys need powder, check in the live chat. Mike Batto is your guy. If you need your crankcases powdered. I guess anything powdered, you know. He does powder. Among other things. Right, Mike? Something else I can just Brian. I got a collection going over here. it? High temp powder. Yeah, okay. Six people watching. What's that? Sunday night? Oh, Sunday. On the upside, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. On the downside, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. All right, you guys, wait till you guys see this 288 here. Probably not. I hope I'm not going to have to pull the head off this thing. Don't think so. I think it runs, but it's got issues. Man, this is really quite good. Money bag. I've been working like crazy on the mill, just absolutely like mad on the mill. I actually cut black birch today for the first time. It was really heavy. Really heavy. Hey, Bob. Bob, have you cut black birch before? I mean, it smells like birch beer when you cut it. It's really amazing. Beautiful. Like, just a whole lot better than the sappy mess that pine is, you know? This kind of sort of cleaned up. And then we'll be on to 288. So, oh yeah, we have unboxings to do too. Hey Pat, how you doing? You feeling okay? Are you up and about? Yeah, I had a 19 some odd footer on the mill today, and I think the birch and another piece of pine were probably 15, 16 foot long. So they were good sized pieces. I'm really tired. I had Dad's tractor here. We're in process of moving that back to my folks, but I had Dad's tractor here to move things around, which was helpful. But even with the tractor, the pieces are so big and heavy, and I was moving beams. I was doing 4x12s out of the pine, and I got an 8x8, more or less, out of the birch. Because my buddy wants beams, so. Hey, Matt. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this will rot your teeth for sure. Don't forget to brush and floss, you know? Man, that is nice. Okay. You guys are going to be like, oh, God. On the upside, it has a full wrap. As far as I know, it's not for sale. My tractor maxes out at 2,500 pounds. Yeah, The Ford 1220 maxes out a lot faster than that. I don't know if it weighs much more than that. Theoretically, the front end can hold about, I think it'll lift 600 pounds theoretically, but it's just not heavy enough to do that. You'll end up on the front two wheels, you know. So this saw actually was a deal that I brokered, and I forget who I brokered it with. So I got this deal for Danny, and $10 says he hasn't done anything to it. came out. Yes, I feel like better. Upside, right surgery, 2 teeth fixed, hands are moving. Yay! Yeah, if I didn't have the, I mean, it just, what I did today wouldn't have happened. Pretty simply. So anyway, he was saying something's wonky about this. It's just, there's too much movement there. So, he's right. Too much movement. Take the starter cover off. We gotta get to the AV bolt. Oh, and we got fuel leaking. Like crazy. Oh, because he put the wrong fuel line in. Danny. Told him you can't use regular old Tygon fuel line. Can't do it. Can't do it. Where the hell is my impact? Here it is. People no listen me. Don't use Tygon. We got to fix the flag here too. Start leaking here too, probably. Okay. Somebody put an M6 on there and an 8mm. That's fantastic. Leaky, leaky, stinky. Outside today with the boy working on the tread belt tiller. Very nice. Hey, William. 288 on the bench. Actually, on my tiller, I put a... I extended the fuel line a little bit because it was just going right from the tank to the carburetor. So I put another shut off. The tread belt tiller has this very nice, fine petcock up underneath the gas tank, but I was like, you know what? I want the cheap one in there. That way I don't bugger the petcock. So I got a cheap fuel on-off valve there and a filter, a regular old, Briggs filter, the red one. Okay, that's 3/16. Remember I just said I wouldn't need a 3/16? Guess what? Somebody put an exhaust bolt in there. Very nice. That's classy. Obviously this got a little bent. Just checked out a huge white oak that blew over a storm. Go landmark tree in town. Oh. Thing is, like, the big old trees, they're beautiful. And they do not belong in residential areas. You know what I'm saying? Okay. These longer bolts. Spring AV, I think. The longer ones are for spring. The shorter ones, I think are for the rubber. And there's no chain catcher here. Great. Before I do the other side, just checked out here. Wonder if you'll get a call on it. Hopefully. I had a guy that hit a huge oak that was down. He chunked the whole damn thing up for firewood, and I stopped by. And he's like, a couple of blocks away here in town. And I'm like, dude, you should have called me. He said, I was looking for years for somebody to mill this. He's like, don't tell me that. Oh, well. Things happen. What the hell is a 288XP light? So this is actually not a light. This is a 288XP because it's got the big spring in the front. It just happens to be labeled light. But the light ones came without the spring. So if you want to turn your 288XP into a light, just take the spring off. And as long as you're not running, longer than 28-inch bar, you don't really need the spring anyway. My very humble opinion. So, now let's take this off. Without spilling things. Actually, all of these bolts are intact, which is the starter cover bolts here are intact, which is nice. I think I'll have to throw that in the ultrasonic. Look at that. Dude. Gotta clean this a little bit. Is Danny listening? He might be. It looked hollow 6 feet up the center, couldn't tell. Full of perfect foliage, yeah. That's not good either. Where'd that bolt come from? Some random... Oh, it's an AV bolt, probably. And somebody put 2 of the wrong lines on here. Bob, I was going to say, do you mind if I use the red line from your saw to fix this? But I already shipped it back to you. Oh, well, it's okay. So in case you guys don't know, there was a very significant dust-up a number of months ago with another builder. And one of the issues that came up was that the builder did not give the guy the old parts back. So that was a pretty significant issue. In my mind, you give the guy the parts back. You know what I'm saying? Spark plug off. I don't have any trouble. No issue with the bearing. This is going to start leaking again, of course. All right, I need to do AV spring here. I'm convinced one of these springs is broken. That's just how it feels to me. Or not attached or whatever have you. Something in here is busted. And and leaking gas. I'll bet this AV bolt is not present or not attached. See, I don't know why they make these spaces for stuff to get in, you know? So we don't really need to worry about taking apart much else to get... Oh, that doesn't help either. That came off the carburetor. Okay. Well, I should be able just to pull this. Oh, yeah, there's an AV. Two AV springs broken. Bing, bing. Where did that piece go? Box of randomness, so whatever. No big deal there. So, two AV springs broken. And the wrong fuel line. Can't do that. I appreciate it, Bob. I do. I'm sure you wouldn't mind, but still, like, as good principle, you really want to return. I try to return basically all the parts because they're yours, they're not mine. If something's really junk, I'll throw it out, but you got to be like especially careful. Like a cylinder head, you want to return that, even if it's scored to all heck. Return it. It's not yours. Don't throw it out. It's not yours. It's a major part. Yep, seen that before for sure. So, I have to get another one of these. This is really good. It was sitting in my fridge for a while. Fridge for a long time. I spent a lot of time outside today. So, root beer hits the spot. Alright, fuel. Let's dump the fuel, because we're going to have to do that. Hey, Mega. Indiana firewood, man. I've been looking for a 288, hard to find. Found here, well, easy to find, but not cheap. Yeah, they're not cheap. When they're properly I spent recently, I spent $1,000 rebuilding one, and it wasn't even minty. So you're going to be into it for a lot of money. I've got a pile of 288 stuff coming. So if you want one, let me know, and we can do a build. But just to let you know, they get pricey. Mega, you're scoring saws left and right. you don't necessarily need to have rubber AV here. All right, I was going to do the fuel line first. Or spring AV, you can put either in. Doesn't really matter. One may have a different feel than the other. At least he's got the big filter, but dude. Okay. Regular old filter. Okay. You can't use the Tygon fuel line. It doesn't fit. It's too narrow. So this goes back to an old video that I made. It's still true. This is 5/32 line. You need 7/32 outer diameter line. It's actually the outer diameter that is the most crucial. So let's get some line. As it turns out, steel R3 works just fine and comes in a big roll. Yep, start saving. Bob, you can tell him how much it's going to be. Oh yeah, you can just go on the steel dealer and get fuel line. You can ask them for R3 and you can get like 30 feet of it, a 10-meter roll, I think. And usually it's pretty cheap. Like they'll get it to you pretty inexpensive. Okay. And this particular Model 280 is nice because it doesn't need the proprietary line. Some of them do. This one doesn't. Right, the line's not going to seal. It's the outer diameter that really is crucial. If it doesn't seal, it doesn't seal. Everybody likes to blame the tank vent, but it's not that. And he's also missing the tank vent. Look, I would say money is... But it truly is like the whole object. I know. Once I get a good grab, you can just pull it. Yeah, I'll get it. sometimes use the big pliers. Enjoy your lunch, Megan. Now, there is a larger fuel filter that you can use. If these are, ported, you might want to use a larger filter. It's a nice touch. Bob, I'm going to make sure that your Nicer Saw gets the bigger filter. They're the 3120 filters, but they're pricey. I said it before, don't get too attached. Yeah. I paint the kitchen for Mother's Day. All right. Tank vents. I'd have this thing back together in a jiffy if it weren't for the damn tank vent. So there's two little white pucks that are supposed to be in there, and he's missing both. So, maybe they're in here. They're out of boxes. Let's see. I don't think so. I think this is just grinding wheels. About to do it. About to have to do on waiting on it super slow through mail. Yeah. Just like Ken Polar Bear adds fan. Yeah, I saw the link to Polar Bear. I didn't have time to go in there. Oh. Cool. Nice, fresh, new Husky gas caps. Guess who's getting those? Bob? You're getting those. Fresh, brand new caps on your nice saw. The rest of these go in there. And that's junk. Okay. These are just the roll-lock wheels. Tell. Welcome, Bob. Everybody needs a set of tools from Mattio. There's no question about it. Not a question in my mind you need a set of tools, Bob. I can't do all these builds for you, you know. Got a few AV mounts here that I think will work. These are 288 mount. Those are not busted. I don't know how they bust, but they do. Those are not busted. Is it too cheap enough to play? It's not cheap. Wish it was cheap. Not. But it's not a bad saw to play with at all. I really like my 272. If it's available, my hand goes to it all the time. This one's busted already, I can tell. Well, there goes $10. We'll have at least 10 more before you. Better shape. There's actually a special tool to do this. I don't think you need it. I happened to use my 288 the other day, and it was a great saw. It was all kinds of fun. My 32-inch Sujihara on it. I was out just taking big chunks off of something I was going to mill, you know. So, okay, he's got AV mounts back, fuel line, grommets okay. Now we got to figure out what's going on here. I know what part that is, I just don't know if I have it. See, what I wish I could do is take some of these parts and just go plunk them here and outspit the right part. Because I've got all kinds of stuff. I need that actual roll pin though. That sucks. Because it's a roll pin that taps in there rather than a straight shank. Uh-oh, I lost this phone. I have an idea. Seconds, 9/64. 1/8. That's pretty tight. So if I sacrifice a 1/8 drill bit, the comments. Yeah. Uh-oh. I'm blowing up my phone here. No, this is not Bob's 288. I'm waiting to deck Bob's 288, so we're waiting on that. Maybe tomorrow, if I get that deck tomorrow, because I am probably going to my folks tomorrow. Okay. This will get this back up. So Ideal put the roll pin back in. I'll order more. So if he needs the part, he needs the part. What are you gonna do? Right? Tank vents. Tank vents. Don't think I have any sitting around. I know I have some outside, but I gotta get those. So let's put that aside for the moment. And let's move on to the chain brake, because that was something that was significant also. I think the saw ran okay otherwise. Let me look at the comments here. Hey, Brandon. Yeah, 288. 60, no, yeah, 288. Sorry about the intro. Yeah. It's my buddy Dan's, and it's a little neglected. me go clean this up just a little bit. Yuck. Okay, so he said that he actually has to hold this thing back for it to stay clicked over. So who was dinging me? Whatever. Okay. So let's take the handle off, which is relatively easy to do. Everybody's so worried about doing this, but don't really have to worry. And if this doesn't pop right out like that, then you can just leave this partially in and just tap on this and it comes out. So now, we'll go to the other side, and this should tap out as well. Might have just been positioned wrong. Could just use a good cleaning. Let's do that. Something else is bothering me, obviously. I know, nobody's ever cleaned this. Really not too bad. Again, I think I'm just going to give this a good cleaning. I think that this was positioned wrong. There's a spring in here that has to go under in a particular spot, but what do you think? Take this fully apart? There's a pin there. You can take it fully apart. You want to take it fully apart? Why not, right? Let me check and see if I have the rubber for that too. This is an aftermarket cover, so I don't know if I got the rubber for it. I might. Second over here to look through parts also and see if there's anything else that can be of use. Aha, there's rubber. That's not for this one. I wonder if I actually need 394 rubber for this. That's very possible. So, something else I need to order. Great. I think I'm going to order him a new carburetor too, because that would make sense. But we'll take this whole thing apart and see how it looks. So this spring here you can just, again, punch out. And that's actually intact, so don't need to worry about that. There's a pin here that gets punched. Hey, Jonathan. Yeah, we're working on a 288 tonight, you know, for a change. Tiny little pin. I know, and everybody's panicking right now. Like, how are you going to get the whole thing back together? Don't worry. This comes apart and it goes back together. Just fine. Pull this straight out here. Yep. No biggie there. Sometimes this pin is loose. It's not, so I don't have to worry about it. So, can clean that up. Clean all the parts. Clean this up. Put it all back together. We'll do that another day. So let me go throw all this in the ultrasonic. These little screws are pretty popular. I think I've got the purple degreaser inside the ultrasonic right now. That stuff works great, but you do not want to use it like on a flywheel, aluminum or something like that. Okay. To share the rest of the class, yeah. No, this is birch beer. Root beer, excuse me, root beer. And this is really nice. Wow. That's the second one I've had tonight, which I shouldn't have too, but I mean, it's really good. Yeah, this one's definitely been through the ringer. All right, well, we're waiting on all that, which might be till tomorrow. I think I'll get him a, what do you think? Get him a new carburetor? Probably a good idea. Won't throw out this part, but okay. Last sip, very nice. Unboxing. Bob, here's your unboxing. You've been asleep, now it's time to be awake. This is goodies for Bob. Now, I like SLE equipment for OEM parts, in particular OEM plastics. They have such good prices. But you'll notice something funny. There's no packing material at all. I don't understand. Beautiful brand new 288 starter cover, top cover. Why would they not put... Really? So you're anticipating packing material. It ain't happening. Well, now I've got plenty of fuel line for 288, even though don't need it. Because yours don't need the proprietary line. Spring AV mounts. I should have put those on my buddy's saw. No, whatever. Oh shoot, just in time. Large fuel filters. Again, these are not cheap. Aha. Chain catchers. Danny's saw definitely needs one of those. We're going to throw that in there. So, let me just go to Bob. Put that over with Bob's stuff. AV mounts go to your nice saw. These stupid rubber bushings. Don't think your saw needs one of these, but if it does, we have OEM now. Yes it does, never mind. There, there's two of that. Okay. I need more roll pins. Let's write this down. Forget. So guys, what did I say? I don't remember. Need order. 288. And maybe this. 288 carb for Danny. I need a roll pin 288 spring for catch. What else did I say? Today's performance. What's going on? Welcome. Roll pins. Rubber maybe? Other parts in there. Four flat springs. No. Ready to party, yes. Okay. Let's move on. We've done the unboxings. I have another saw to put on the bench. Or back on the bench, rather. It's the Ratty 394. Man, this thing's ratty. But I already have a buyer. Unbelievable. Already have a buyer. So Bobby has already said yes to this, so thank you, Bobby. But there's a bunch of stuff we got to do to it before we can consider this ship shape. So actually, let's pull that down there. Oh my God, that's huge. Yeah. It's a 394. It's a nice saw. If I had to pick a favorite, it would be a 394. What is the biggest saw I've worked on? Probably 394s, 395s. I haven't worked on a 3120 yet. CC wise, yeah, probably these. Just get pushed in. So these clips, I knew I had them. Clink. And they get pulled up. You have to, there you go, now it's up. This is one of these just dumb things. Yeah, so if I had to pick a favorite saw, I think the 394 would be it. I really like them. They run so smooth, they start so easy, and there's just so much power there. And there's really, I've run 3120s. I've run some really big saws. I've run Dolmar 166s. I ran Lee's Big Bore 166, the one that he actually had bored and might even be bored and stroked. It was bored for sure. He had it bored out, which was crazy. There you go. Pull laterally. It was crazy big saw, but you know, you don't need anything bigger than a 394. The nice thing about the 394 is you can still get parts for them. And I pulled these springs out of my 262. So, guess what? These are the same. Those are the same. Now I have to get new springs for my 262, but who cares? I can go scavenge from my own saws to make this type of stuff complete, because I gotta move this stuff along. As you're putting it down, you make sure those are nice and loosey-goosey. Now, sometimes when you drop the head, you gotta run the burr in here. If you drop it enough, then the decomp won't quite pop out, and that's not good. And it looks like I need to do that. So what you have to do is, this decomp needs to be able to pop out. Play the dumbbell on roll. I don't know, my husband brought it. It runs and cuts. It runs and cuts. Yeah, good enough. hole just needs to be enlarged a little bit, and that way the decomp can move freely. And Terrell would probably tell you, you ain't going to the moon with this thing. We don't, it's not a collector's piece. You don't need to worry about keeping it all, collector show quality. There's just no point. This just goes down easy, So yeah, this falls under the category of 90 cc, just smaller than 100 cc, and it's a big motor. But they just run so nice. It's just like running a Cadillac. I mean, just really, really nice. Click, 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 click. Now this is the low top version. You can get the high top version too. The high top version for this uses a 395 high top and a high top filter. The air horn is different though. So, and the 394 air horns for high top are kind of like unobtainium. Not saying I don't have one, I'm just saying that they're unobtainium. Okay. So, oil vent. Oil vent tube for this. Otherwise this ain't going anywhere. Hoping to get a dog for this too. So we'll need a dog. Let me show you the trick with the tensioner. So the tensioner comes like that, and there's this little rubber piece, which is just stupid, which I don't use. So what I do with the tensioners is I get an E-clip to fit there. And if I got to grind on the E-clip to make it fit, I grind it to make it fit. Hey, Leonard! Did I ever the 3D print? No. The rough answer is no. One day. I need to put some energy towards that design. There's no question about it, but I just haven't. You have a certain level of ambition. And then if something works, great. And if it doesn't, maybe the ambition goes away. Well, that went flying. I have no idea where that is. Try again. Do I have a prototype? Yes, I do. I think this will work, but I think I have to make this a little deeper. And to break out the Dremel tool. She goes on. So, The reason I'm doing all this craziness, there's actually a very good reason for it. The E-clip, which goes in here, holds this and does not degrade over time. The stupid rubber pieces that they give you stock degrade over time and fall out. Yeah, so that clips on there, and once it grabs, she's a devil, you know. Now I have to find the silly paw. Where did I put that? Okay, sorry. Garage, Mr.'s garage, hot mess. Yeah, yeah, mine's kind of messy right now. Although it's not, the shed's not too bad. Could be worse. Okay. So yeah, I came up with this E-clip idea because my dad's 257, which he loved dearly, kept losing these stupid screws. And you put the rubber piece on there that they give you, and it degrades over time, and then it just falls off. I'll put an E-clip on there. And now, won't go anywhere. Permanent. So it takes a little bit of work, but that's all good. Now I'm missing the stupid vent tube, and so I can't put this on until I've got that tube, but that's okay. I need a screw for that, and I need I can't even put that on either. I gotta put the dog on first. So there's a few pieces I gotta put on. It's an amazing amount. You eat the little stuff just adds up huge on these saws. Huge. Inboard clutch. No, this is a outboard clutch. Why doesn't the fact? Yeah, I don't know. They put a piece of rubber on it and it degrades. I have no idea why they didn't come up with the E-clip idea. I yard sailed and trashed most of the other stuff. 2 weeks later, moved my woodworking tools. Can't even walk at this point. Alright, so definitely some goodies still here to go with this when I get a few extra parts. And we'll be off. Yeah, the inboard clutch thing is something that a lot of people really don't like about that debate about the 395. It's like, oh God, you know, it's such an old technology with the outboard clutch. That's usually the comment. And, you know, the real thing is that there are advantages and disadvantages both way you go. So I don't necessarily think that the outboard clutch there is so much of a disadvantage to not like the saw. As opposed to, say, a 372. The upside to an inboard clutch is the inboard clutch, you can certainly, it's easier to change the bar and chain, I think. Easier to change the sprocket. Whatever. Whatever. Well, 394, 395 is the same thing. The clutch question, yeah, 395 is an outboard clutch. Personally, I like the 394 better. I'm a 394 guy. I started out with 394s. 395 is not a bad saw. The difference, the thing that puts it over for me is I like the intake block more than the boat. That's my thing. Not everybody's. What else do I have for you guys tonight? I think that was it. We did all the unboxings. Gotta get my buddy a new carburetor there. I think this 288 will feel much happier with a carburetor. And a proper fuel line, amongst other things. So, questions, comments, anything else before I call it? Wood shop in the making, had the dozer up, built the pad, had to care for my aunt. And then the COVID hits, yeah, I know. Ugh. Anything else, guys? Questions? That's all I got for you, Leonard. That's it. I'd love to hang out with you guys some more, but that's all I got for the night. As interesting as I'm going to get. We'll hopefully hit... If I can get Bob's 288 machine tomorrow, all I got to do is take 13 thousandths off, but if I can get it on the Bridgeport tomorrow, then tomorrow night we can actually start putting her together. Dance, Maddie. No, I'm good. Mr. Posting video doing some yard work, not gas friendly. Oh, you got the electric out. The electric doesn't smell nearly as good as the gas. Actually, if you want something that smells really good, go cut some black birch. I did that out in the mill today. Had a great time, and man, does that smell nice. Oh, it's like birch beer. The whole yard smells like birch beer. Beautiful. $394 and trade me in New Zealand, 900 New Zealand dollars. Wow, is it in nice shape? Yep. You're waiting. Your decking is probably tomorrow, Bob. That's really what we're waiting on now. There may be some minor stuff otherwise in your saw, but that's really what we're waiting on. Questions, comments, anything else? Well, the Teller video is not that long, but it sounds awful nice. If you like nice sounding motors, it's hard to beat that Kohler. It just sounds so darn nice. No, I'm sure Bob's wife's going to do that when she finds out how many saws he sent me. Schedule for the week. I'm working with the kids, obviously, for the week, but Thursday I get the welder. Friday, as of right now, the delivery date is Friday for the 288 stuff. So that's basically the schedule for the week. So exciting stuff. 9 o'clock. Holy crap. I gotta go. I gotta go. Have a great night. And we will see you guys tomorrow. I do appreciate everybody and appreciate hanging out. This is always lots of fun. And yeah, we locked down, yeah, more or less. More or less. So I'm out. You guys have a great night. Thanks so much, and we will see you some other time. Bye, guys.